On June 28, 2013, the Meadows will celebrate its 50th anniversary. As we approach that milestone, we remember some of the people, horses, and events that have been a part of the track's rich history. In October of 1984, one of the biggest upsets in the history of harness racing took place in the Breeders' Crown. It is still remembered by many as one of the top moments in racing history, and perhaps the greatest race in the 50-year history of the Meadows.
8 of the finest 2-year-old pacing colts in all of harness racing.
Nihilator entered the 2-year-old pace as the heavy favorite and won the first heat in 154-3, defeating Dragon's Lair. But the local horse, trained and driven by Jeff Mallet, had other plans in the final, despite facing a 3-horse entry that included Nihilator and Pershing Square.
Up and pacing Dragon's Lair, going for the lead with Pershing Square. Down along the rail, Nihilator racing third.
I had discussed this with Mark Goldberg, who was like my coach for the race. And Mark discussed with me, he said to me, since they were an entry, if I saw Pershing Square leaving out of the gate, I had to make a decision right there whether I wanted to drop in or go ahead and go to the front and try to control the race. When the gate opened, I saw Pershing Square leaving out of there, and Nihilator sat in the pocket, and I made a decision I was going to go to the front.
I said to Jeff, I thought that if Pershing Square left the gate, that was an indication that they were going to push him as hard as they could, try to rough up Dragon's Lair. And I said, I thought that it was best for him not to take the 2-hole under any circumstances, because if they let him in the 2-hole, Nihilator would quickly pull out, retake the lead. That would leave Jeff third in an impossible spot to win. So as it turns out, Jeff left, and they did park him a ways, but the quarter was an amazing 26-4. For that era, was an incredible first quarter, especially for 2-year-olds. But Jeff had him in such good shape that after resting him a little bit the second quarter, when Nihilator came at him first over, Dragon's Lair was up to the task and fought him off.
I felt really good when nobody bothered me going to the half, because I was able to give Dragon's Lair a pretty good rest. Nihilator came first over down the back stretch, and he wasn't gaining any ground on me at all. And at that point, I was pretty certain that we had a really, really good chance of winning the race.
Dragon's Lair, here comes Nihilator on the move on the outside. Pershing Square third, Broadway Express fourth, Warren Kessel fifth, Marauder sixth, 3/4, 25-1, 28-3. Dragon's Lair by 2.25. Nihilator on the outside, Pershing Square on the outside, Broadway Express less than an 8. It's Dragon's Lair by 2.5. Here comes Nihilator and Broadway Express. Dragon's Lair, Nihilator, Dragon's Lair wins the Breeders' Crown. 154, 1/5, another world's record.
After the race was over, I think that was the most impressive thing, because the people that were in the paddock were all lined up outside the paddock, and they were all cheering for Dragon's Lair and Jeff as he pulled up. Jeff made a circle, he waved for me, I came running out, I jumped on the bike next to him, I started pumping my fist as we were going past the paddock. People were cheering in the paddock, which normally you don't see all that much, people cheering for other people as they won.
I was totally elated. Of course, we had a lot of people there, and I was just overwhelmed. I really felt that it was my moment, you know. I thought we really had a good chance of beating him. I'd been going 2 heats with Dragon's Lair for a month before the Breeders' Crown. Every time he raced, Bobby Sutton would give me a schooling pad, and I'd stay in the paddock and go another training mile after he raced. So we were real prepared to go 2 heats, and I really admired Billy Houghton, but I thought that he wasn't taking us seriously. I saw them get ready for the Breeders' Crown, and they went a training mile in 2:30 and put the horse away. So I didn't think they were as prepared to go 2 heats as I was. Except for the birth of my son, Scott, it was the greatest moment of my life. You know, it was the moment for me. And it was a tough act to follow because, you know, winning that race at home and beating an undefeated horse like Nihilator, you know, it was just such a big deal that I really never thought that I could top that.